You're on NightSide with Dan Ray on WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
Okay, as we move into our fourth guest here on a Tuesday night. It's the end of March. I mean, it's almost like winter's really over. I don't want to jinx anything, but we're going to talk with Dan Varroney. Dan is an economic strategist and author. He's been with us before, and he's talking about, obviously, what's going on halfway around the world and how it is affecting small business here in this country. Welcome back, Dan Varroney. How are you tonight?
I'm thrilled to be back, and I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing fine. So your focus tonight is small business, because it says why small business matters more as Iran drives costs higher. All of us are going to be affected by it. Why the focus on small business? I think I know the answer, but I'd love to hear it from you first.
So 99.9% of the businesses in this country are small businesses. With the economy in challenge, although the economy is still growing at 2 to 2.5%, what we want to do is get the economy moving at a faster rate, at a higher level of output. And the way to do that is to unleash small business. That's why I wrote this article.
Now, we know that the stock market I'm going to just broaden it a little bit. Stock market had a huge day today. I don't understand why, but I'm sure you do. The indices were up, I think, 2.5, even one of them was up over 3%, the NASDAQ. What happened today that caused the market to reverse course so dramatically?
The president indicated that the conflict in Iran could and would be over in 2 to 3 weeks. Remember, the stock market loves certainty. They've been swimming in a sea of uncertainty, and he offered a glimmer of certainty.
It's interesting that reassurance, assuming that it's true. I mean, I don't know how the reassurance can be given, not knowing what might or might not happen. It's interesting that that's your answer. I think that's the right answer, but it's interesting. Do you think the fact that the market had dropped so precipitously, it's kind of feeling a little bit about the Liberation Day drop of a year ago, April 2nd, when the market dropped when he announced the tariffs, and then it turned itself around fairly quickly within a matter of maybe 2 or 3 weeks?
So I think this has a greater sense of intensity around it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And 20% of the world's oil comes from the Strait of Hormuz, and although the U.S. only gets 2% of its oil from that part of the world, the point is that all oil is priced globally. And our prices, as you know and we all know, now our gasoline prices are up to $4 a gallon. Diesel prices are anywhere between $5.50, almost $6 a gallon. Prices of goods are going up fairly rapidly. And I think the president met with his military team. I think they gave him, again, I'm just speculating,
Sure.
They gave him a favorable report. And he indicated that maybe it's time to bring this thing to a close. And before I came on air with you, Dan, I noted on X that the press secretary announced the president wants airtime to explain the status of the Iran war situation tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So it sounds like he's looking to give an update and give news one way or the other about the direction of the situation.
Well, that's breaking news, Dan. I appreciate that very much because I had not heard that. I've been on the air since 8 o'clock and have been focused on the show for about 30 minutes before that, and we're just making sure everything is in order. So let's get back to small businesses. Now, small businesses, it's a wide spectrum of businesses. Everything from someone who owns a bowling alley in Kansas to someone that owns a roadside fruits and vegetable stand here in New England. What is the commonality? Obviously, the uncertainty and the price, I guess, of any form of transportation, whether it's diesel or gasoline.
Sure.
Is that the primary driving factor that small businesses at this point feel?
I want to add in there are small manufacturing companies as well.
Okay.
tooling and machining shops, and so on. But the common denominator is that small businesses have the same permitting and regulatory compliance requirements as the big businesses. It's like these permitting and compliance requirements are designed for the big businesses, but they're very expensive and very cumbersome for the small businesses. They need to be right-sized, as it were. And if we right-size them and we give more of a green light to these small businesses, they will move off the sidelines far more quickly. Right now, they're waiting, watching, and looking. Some are moving off the sidelines. But if they got a green light saying, we're going to accelerate your permitting timelines and we're going to simplify your compliance requirements, that will get them off the sidelines and moving at a fairly quick pace.
But regulatory reform is what you're talking about there is different from the military activities in the Middle East, I assume.
Absolutely different. Okay. Absolutely different. What I'm talking about is there can be environmental requirements.
Okay, sure. No, I get that. But you're not making a linkage. That's all I wanted. No. Didn't want people to be confused. You're talking about a separate set of circumstances which are inhibiting small businesses from getting, the phrase you use, getting off the sideline and getting in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was following that correctly. Coming back to what we were talking about, which is Iran, is it pretty much wrapped up at the gas pumps for small businesses like most people are feeling the problem, but their costs are going to go up because of the transportation issue? Everything that we buy, whether it's in a supermarket or at a small mom and pop store, has been transported at some point by truck.
Dan, you've got it. You've nailed it. Because think of diesel as the main artery that runs through the U.S. economy. Everything is shipped, and there's a cost and a price to that, and that has gone up significantly. And small businesses are really eating that higher cost.
Sounds great. Well, look, Dan, you explain it well. As always, great to have you back with us, and we'll keep on top of this. And let's hope that when the president speaks tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we, of course, will carry it here on WBZ, but also we hope that the news will be good news for the country, because that's what we want, irrespective of whoever's in the White House. We want the American military troops to remain safe and the mission to be accomplished. Those two messages would be so important for not only small business, big business, but everyone in America, in my opinion. Thanks so much, Dan Varroney. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
How can folks check you out, and give us your website?
Sure. It's danielvarroney.com, and they can find my book, Rethinking Economic Growth, at amazon.com.
Okay, and Varroney is Varroney. Daniel, Varroney. Thank you, Dan Varroney. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Dan. Good night.